Now we want to set up the integration between Fluent Forms and MailerLite so that we can send data from the WordPress website to MailerLite. So we need to go into Fluent Forms, down to integrations. MailerLite is near the bottom on the left, I think. There it is. Now we need to go click on this gear cog there, and we get a field here that we have to insert a thing called MailerLite API key. So we need to go back to our MailerLite account. We need to go to integrations, and the first one here is API. So we use that and we go generate new token, and we will call it Fluent Forms INTG or AT. Name it something that you'll remember that'll make sense. It doesn't matter, you could call it anything. You could call it after your dog as long as you know what it is. But with things like that, I would always give them a very descriptive name. And the reason for that is if you have a developer working on the website on your account, you want to name it something that they'll recognize. So if you name it Dodger or something after your dog, you see, you could have a lot of different API connections and they could be testing something. And if the name doesn't make sense, it'll get very confusing and slow them down. So it just makes logical sense that they'll recognize what it is when they see it. So you can copy and save this on your computer somewhere, because we can download it there into a file, because once we close this for security, it'll never be, you can see the prompt here, security reasons, it'll never be shown again. So the thing is, if you lose it, you'll have to build get a new key, which is no problem to do. You can, it's just hassle and time if you have to set it up again. So that'd be, say that you deleted the connection and you didn't have the key, so all the forms might have to be redone or something like that. So we have that copied. Want to close that. We want to go back here to our key like that, save. We should get a prompt. It's telling us here that your MailerLite API integration is up and running very fast. So we can actually, I'm going to show you guys now, we should be able to test this very, very quickly. We have a form here. We're going to go to settings and integrations. We want to go down to configure integrations. When we go here, go to MailerLite, click on that. Now, I have groups set up here in MailerLite. When I go to subscribers, it should give me groups here. And I have a group here called Baking Recipes New Subscribers. So I'm going to select that. Now we have to do what's called map the fields. So there's a lot of fields here that we're not going to use. We don't need to. We're going to keep this very basic. So what this means is that the sections, the fields in the form on the WordPress website are collecting data like first name, second name, email, address, etc. So, and we want to send these fields to the same fields that match each other in MailerLite. So we select email there. We don't, we have last name, we have first name, and I'll get to explain what the title of recipe post and URL of recipe post is later when we're setting up a proper marketing campaign. I'm just doing this so that you can do this and learn it, because you need to understand the fundamentals, this basic, what I'm showing you here to get started. So we did that, and we're going to go over to pages, add new page. We're going to call it MailerLite INTEG integration test, And what we want to do now is we're going to search for our forms, Fluent Forms, like that, and we can pick our form now. So the name is not coming up correctly. It's coming up as contact form. I actually made a tiny mistake there, folks. That's back in the forms, that contact form, the integration that we should have set up. I should have actually, up here, I forgot to name it correctly. It's MailerLite, INTEGRAT, integration testing. Go back, rename it there. And if I refresh this page now and click on the forms, we can actually see that it's here now. MailerLite integration testing. It's named correctly now. So folks, we don't need to get into styling the form or anything. We'll be covering that later. I just want to explain how we test the integrations. So it'll be Jonathan Power, email, and so it'll be at cateredwebsites.com. The subject doesn't matter, we didn't connect that field or the message, just go test. I just want to show the very basics of how it was the first name, the second name, surname, and the email address were connected. So there we can see that there's no subscribers in the group that I connected to, the Baking Kit new subscribers. So if we go to view group, it could take a few minutes now just to show up. It mightn't be instant. So it took about 30 seconds to show up, folks, and there it is. We have my details there, Jonathan at Catered Websites, that I put into the form. I've showed up now as a subscriber, and I'm in the Baking Recipe new subscribers. So that's all subscribers. So groups, view group, you can see it there on the right that it showed up. And there I am, folks. That's how you create the integration, that the website, the form can talk to your email service, and you add people. And I should be able to go in here and we get the details then. Excuse me. We can see that my email address is there, the group is there, and my first name and last name that I entered in the form are there. So folks, that's how simple it is. All the integrations work similarly to that, where you set up the integration, the API connection in the form, so that the two different systems, your website and MailChimp or ConvertKit or whatever it is, can both talk to each other. That's it. And then the next step would be, we can see there, it said that no emails activity. So if any emails were sent to me when I signed up, it would show up here under activity. But we haven't built any automations, campaigns, or forms yet. So that's the next thing to get into. So that's it, folks. We'll move on to the next section.